Hello and welcome back to the Full Swing Studios monthly challenges. I'm here with my two wonderful contestants.
Hello.
Hi.
And of course, I got to decide this month's challenge.
You're doing that so ominous.
Yes, absolutely. I have full control. So yes, all pretense aside, we've already done the challenge. We don't know how our other outcomes look like, so that'll be all news to us. To go into more specifics, this challenge was to design a record album of a fictional band or an existing band of choice, and to follow a few specifications. It has to have a front and a back to it, and designed for a standard 12-inch record album sleeve. And we're gonna do this at 300 DPI, so it's nice and good and ready for print. And then, if you wanted to make your fictional band, you had to come up with the band's name and then at least 10 songs for that fictional band if you didn't pick one that was just one that already existed. Then, so this was the big difference, is that the assets that we were able to use were predetermined. So I made 6 different folders and packed them with some fonts, some images, and some textures / patterns. You guys got to decide which one you wanted, and then you guys picked for me since I knew what was in the folders.
Yeah, I honestly thought, especially since having to do the front and back, that it would be really rushing. But I think I finished it out an hour 30 before I was like, okay, I'm happy. And I was like most attracted to the moody folder, so that's the category I went with. I want to do something like kind of edgy, emo, dark and stuff like that, so as I tend to do with these challenges. But
Yeah, I probably had something I was happy with after about an hour and a half, but I'm the type that if I've got 2 hours, I'm going to use that full 2 hours to add as much detail as I can. And I opted for the E equals MC squared folder.
I'm really excited that was another one that caught my attention, just a fun title. And I think Slater and I just kind of like the idea of the contrast between small and big for category 1. So that's the one that Alex is presenting.
All right, yeah, I had small and big. I kept the names sort of vague, not too vague.
And we had no, before we chose these folders, we had no idea what the assets were in any of the folders. So going in super blind.
So this is my recording of mine. You can see me getting the timer ready here, and away we go. So first thing I did is I extracted all the fonts. Forgot to uncompress them. Then booted up Photoshop, put all the specifications in, got 2 different pages open, so for the front and back. Looked over the assets very briefly. So I was like, okay, I should figure out what I'm gonna put for this imaginary band. And I started coming up with names. So I had 2 pictures of skies. So I was like, I really like this. So I'll go with stained glass skies. And then,
you came up with your name first.
And this is me.
Different fonts, or just kind of testing out.
This was
fonts.
me testing out the fonts, exactly. So then I grabbed the picture that I really liked, and I was like, okay, what do I do with this? I can colorize it. Can maybe enhance the different colors, maybe get some blue and then orange contrast. And I was like, maybe I can do different versions of it. And then I'm like, wait, one of those songs in there is Kaleidoscope. And so I was like, okay, that's a pretty easy and simple
it already
trick.
looks like a kaleidoscope.
Yeah, so I was like,
whoa, that totally changed the image completely.
Yeah, so I was like, that's a real easy and quick thing to do. And then I was like, should I do anything more with it? Should I try to put in some of these patterns?
That's cool.
Maybe try to make it look like shards of glass or something. And then I was like, this looks kind of nice. So I was like, oh, you know what? I'll go with that. So I grabbed the title, and I was like, I know exactly what to do with that.
That's a really nice font.
And then
overlaid
it with a clipping mask, put it in the middle, and then I was like, do I do anything to make it kind of pop out a little bit? And I was fiddling around with dropping a shadow. It's kind of my go-to to make things stand out, which...
Yeah, me too.
And I was fiddling around, and I'm like,
I like this cut through, the see-through.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, maybe a little bit less is more. Thought about putting another drop shadow down onto the stuff behind it, but then I think I come back around to it and decide, I don't like the shadow on that, so I'll just take that off. And then I was happy with that, so then I went back to the back and just kind of made it look a little bit nicer. Left aligned stuff, brought things up to the top. And I was like, I have that other sky picture that is in my different assets to use. Maybe I can put that in there. And then I looked at a couple of other album arts.
Nice.
Yeah, I looked at a couple of other album arts, and I'm like, oh, they have all this copyright stuff at the bottom. So
I was thinking about that too, but I'm like, I don't feel like typing anymore.
So I made a quick, like a jokey.
I saw Full Swing Studios.
Exactly, and threw it there. And then I like synthesized a barcode, but then I was like, oh wait, no.
You made your own?
I was like, no, that's a different asset. That's not in the folder. I have to make it from
Oh my
scratch.
God. It would not be Alex without some crazy, just like tedious. Oh my God.
Yeah, there you go. Made a barcode.
Damn, you love to do a painstaking, at least one painstaking thing in each of these challenges.
Yep. And then.
Dang, whoa.
I decided to go for a different
It
kind
almost
of,
looks like a tornado.
Yeah. The other one was a little bit more sharper. I wanted this one to be a little bit more
Dang, it's cool.
faded.
It's really cohesive.
Yeah, so I really didn't spend too much time on mine in terms of the total time allocated. I got stuff done pretty quickly, as you can see here.
Yeah, it looks really cohesive. I think that's one thing I kind of struggled with. Mine was like making the front and back like look like they're from the same album, you know? Like, yeah, super clean. I really like the font that you chose and all the little extra details. It's cool. It's sick.
Yeah, super clean. I love it.
I think the back, I just love it. It looks like a abstract tornado of color and fractals and super cool. And there is like they almost have like the same composition in a way. Like, I think that's super sick.
Yeah, I just noticed seeing them side by side that they're almost like inverted, where you have the negative space on the cover and then negative space on the outside on the back.
Yeah, they're like like they're negatives of each other. Yeah. And I think the band name was really a good, like it works really well with the visuals it's created. I think that's interesting. I'm curious to see when you present yours to see how you did it, but I actually did mine in the reverse, where I kind of built the visuals out and let the like before, and then did like the naming at the end when I'm like, what does this look like? Instead of like being inspired, instead of like, yeah. So I'm like, oh, interesting. Like that's like just a small detail that like, that just shows like how our brains all work differently. And so yeah, cool. Awesome, man.
This was nice. The previous challenge, I was like really cutting it close from the time. I scraped every single second I made use out of. But this one was nice, having a lot more time than I needed to work on something. I could really easily test things out, see if they worked, and like I said, overworking the dough. I was like, oh no, this is good. This is okay, and made some very slight alterations or changes, but then kind of kept it simple and easy, and I think it turned out well. It's crazy how just like taking an image and just making 3 different copies of it and just changing it 90 degrees to make a kaleidoscope.
Yeah.
It's a super easy thing to do, but it looked.
And it's definitely like an evolution of the assets. It's not just like. It's like a new thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I could have taken just a picture of the skyscraper, slapped it in there, and called it good. Which, hey, I mean, would have looked nice too. It's a good picture. And
I also saw you're kind of talking about this challenge versus the last challenge. Obviously, like in animation's way is like obviously a lot more time intensive.
Oh, absolutely.
But I also think one of the differences about this challenge is that I actually really liked was the constraints of having just the assets that you provided. I thought that made it more unique, and like it also like helped you not like overthink a little bit too, because you're just I kind of did a little bit of overthinking, but you just this is what I have, this is what I can use, like I'm gonna try and make something cool with it. I don't have to like look on any other website for assets or whatever.
Yeah,
so.
I think the 2 previous challenges, like a good portion of my time at the beginning was just grabbing assets and having the infinite internet and motion array to draw from, but having constraints kind of forced me to lock in on an idea and get creative.
Yeah, I think that's maybe just also a learning thing now for like potential, not necessarily always having like the asset constraints, but maybe when we're developing these challenges, kind of figuring out a way so we're spending less time in R&D.
Yeah.
So that it does kind of just, we can get into the creative flow right away. Well, awesome, Alex. Like, yeah, you did a stellar job. And if there's nothing else, I think we can see the next one.
Yeah, for mine, you'll kind of see it's not necessarily a fictional band because I decided to do an album cover for my own in development album.
Oh, hey, nice.
But
And just a reminder, your E equals MC squared is your category, right?
exactly. But that did mean I had to come up with an artist name and an album title because I didn't have those ahead of time. So
Oh, I didn't think about that. I just did a band name. I didn't do like an album. Well, anyway, sorry. I don't want to interrupt your.
So you'll see that it's semi-fictional in that it's not released, but it is based on real music that I've been working on. These are the assets that I was provided.
Oh, that's smart. That was a good idea.
And then these were all the textures. Definitely right up my alley, so I was happy with what I picked. And then those were the fonts. And then unfortunately I messed up the timer in the bottom right for the first half, but that'll get fixed later on. So I really liked the classroom vibe, and I quickly decided to kind of make my fonts kind of blend in and look almost like a chalkboard. And then wanted to start laying out the song titles on the back, just get a rough outline going.
So are these actual track names then
Yeah.
for your own music?
Then definitely spent a lot of time trying different ways of making the text pop out, trying different stroke colors or glow, and definitely drop shadow. I always rely on that. And then
You did.
yeah, I wasn't thinking that I was recording my work PC, so I was spending some time getting assets on my personal PC that you'll see in a bit. but
Yeah, I did the same thing.
realized it was just paused on the time-lapse recording. So bear with me for a second.
We'll be right back.
Oh, brain blast.
Brain blast. It's coming at us. I saw your finger guns from the last challenge. Oh,
So-
damn, get all your different.
Yeah, so on my personal PC, I was taking screenshots of all the different
Oh,
plugins.
so
music
those
software
assets
that I
are
use.
like, not just like
yeah.
sourced from the internet. They're
There
like
you go.
No,
You
your
did it on
actual-
your own. Yeah.
actual tools that you're using in the software.
Exactly.
Damn, that's crazy. Oh, you're making it like a brain blast of all your tools.
Yeah, and I decided to name the album "Learn How to Make Music."
There you go.
Being
Nice.
my first album, so I decided to include all the software that I learned throughout the process of making this album.
Dude, it's really kind of reminds me of like a textbook.
Oh, I totally get that vibe. Then I was working on the brain on the back and finding a way to blend in the light bulb, and I used one of the layer modes, and it ended up matching kind of well, so I decided to copy that light bulb a couple times.
Wow.
I put a filter to kind of make the front and back look more cohesive as well.
Yeah, you really packed a lot of the assets in. It totally reminds me of like 90s textbook, like kind of vaporwave vibes. Like it's
And then the final product.
wow. Well, that definitely fits the theme for sure. Dude, good job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then put some little Braille Easter eggs. I was kind of thinking like Alex to do like the copyright text or
yeah.
something like that, but I just did little Easter eggs in Braille.
Can we see the outcomes again?
Yeah.
Like what Darby said, I get like Bill Nye the Science Guy vibes.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
get that.
totally. Yeah, you made a good use of your assets, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like that-
Tried to use as many as possible, but I hope that they were all cohesive in a similar theme. So
What is the name of the band?
I did.
Because it's a
it
pretty
is kind of
abstract
hard to read,
font.
but
Yeah.
I said the administrator.
Ah,
Slater.
Fun on my name.
Slater.
Yeah, that is a cool font. Like, I feel like that is like a perfect font for like a band, you know, whatever. Like, people will know what it is. Like, so it could be a little bit more abstract, you know. That's a crazy font. That was one of the ones that Alex. Damn, that is a crazy. I can see what that does fit well in the theme, like of like E equals MC squared.
Yeah. So
Square.
I was pretty happy with it.
Yeah, dude.
Definitely happy I picked a folder that fit the vibe and was able to make something cohesive out of it. Had a lot of fun with this.
Dang, that's sick.
Yeah, I mean, kind of the biggest challenge for me, again, like, kind of with all the challenges is just making everything look cohesive. Like, I definitely don't have the same graphic design background that both of you have, so color theory and things like that I don't have as much experience. So I was happy with how it turned out, just using a filter at the end, but I definitely want to get better at like having a cohesive like color scheme and how to like make things fit together better. But
Cool. Wow. Well, you really knocked it out of the park, man. I wish I didn't have to follow up both of these.
I'm sure yours looks fine, Derby.
Awesome. Well, Alex, did you have anything else to add, or?
I really like this, that you were like, I was like, yeah, make your own assets, and then you're like, oh yeah, these are some things that I work with that I can take screenshots of and make my own assets out of. And I'm like, that's great.
Yeah, I agree. Like, Alex, I know you told us that we were kind of like, we didn't necessarily have to stick strictly to the folder, but obviously I wanted to as best as possible. And I think this is the perfect way to kind of like, they are like assets that were in the folder, but like how do I describe it? Like, it seems fair. Like,
Yeah,
it's fair.
he used his own things that he had at his disposal to create the assets himself.
and it's definitely still primarily the assets that were provided.
Yeah. So
A little detail.
and the fact that potentially this is something you actually use too for like your own work is like, I think it makes sense to like, you know, you want to knock it out of the park as much as possible because it's multi-use. I imagine like once you finish your album or whatever, you might want to make some tweaks and stuff. But yeah, really cool. Good job, man.
Thank you.
All right, want to switch it up? Yeah, I'll go this way if you want to just. All right, so just for a reminder for everyone, I chose the Moody folder because I was kind of feeling like I just like dark stuff. I mean, you saw from our Halloween challenge, I like to be a little edgy. And so I like Moody. I'm like, of course, yes. And I was really happy because I loved all of the assets. And I used like quite a few of them. Like, I feel like I went a little crazy. I knew for sure I was going to use this head, and I was like warping it in weird ways. And I'm like, just trying to figure out the composition. And then I like this picture of these trees. And so I kind of got in the headspace of I want to design this around like anxiety and kind of ADHD. So kind of I kind of envisioned that I'm the dude or the lady that's in the photo, and these things are kind of coming out of my brain. And so it was messing around a lot with different blend modes and stuff to just like kind of create this chaotic, and this is my version of, I had to go look up stuff up. I was just messing around. I didn't even have a name yet, you know, like I was just messing around, and then I was like, just spiral state. Like, that's my head when I'm ever like overwhelmed or feeling anxiety or have ADHD just kind of coming at me. And so I'm in a state of spiraling. And so I just had a lot of fun with blend modes, and I pretty much used like all the patterns. I think I thought like I just converted spiral state into kanji. And I just thought it added a little extra flair, a little extra chaos, you know, to the image. Yeah. And then I really like this emblem, and there's even like words that have to do with the mind in there. So I really thought I was going to use it. And I went into Illustrator and was trying all sorts of things, but I thought it was kind of nice to maybe have a clean version too, but I just started getting even more zany, and I think I ended up abandoning that like little kaleidoscope. But basically just lots of experimentation, and then I remember seeing this head thing. I'm like, you know what? Let's do a mirror image of the other face. I do end up like flipping it so it's on the other side. So if it was like an actual album, you would
Oh, yeah.
But I just like layered patterns on patterns on patterns using all sorts of different blend modes that I've never used before. I messed around with the track titles and stuff like that until I kind of had some happy accidents with it, but I ended up just getting rid of like the numbers and like it saying the word tracks. So I just have like the tracks themselves, and all the tracks are like have to do with like crazy brain. Dream loop, thought collapse, feedback loop. And then I'm still messing around with the fonts and stuff. I'm like, I was gonna change the font for the numbers versus the text. I'm like, nah, just gonna do the text. And then accidentally at the end of it, I accidentally had all of the text misaligned. And I'm like, actually that looks sick.
Yeah.
And so I actually made it more misaligned, and then I warped it, and then I had some of I used masking to kind of have some of the swirls go over the text and stuff. So
Very cool.
Spiral state. Yeah, and I did that's like the only, I'm like, that's the same, because I looked at some example work and stuff like that as well. And that was like definitely a common thing. So yeah, spiral state. But yeah, so so this was kind of mostly an exercise in blend modes for me, like but also, to be honest, since I was just kind of going through the blend mode, seeing what I liked and changing the layers around to get different effects. So like, I don't really feel like I actually learned anything about what the different blend modes do, you know? Because I was just like, this looks cool. Like,
Yeah.
I'll do this. But I definitely wanted it to be super abstract and like very chaotic, because that's what it feels like when, for me at least, like just really want to do a truest representation of anxiety and showcasing like what a mind feels like when it's overloaded with information and stuff. So that was kind of the general vibe. And that I just did Spiral State as like the band name. I didn't think like, I just kind of felt like it could be synonymous with the album title.
A self-titled album, if you will.
Yeah. My only EP that I'll ever do. So I don't, it's, but yeah, so I'm trying to think what, and also this was just like, I like throughout the whole thing, I never had a plan. Like it was very much always just like, see what I can do with this asset and mess around. And like, I didn't really think of the composition thing until I brought the mirrored composition, until I brought that second head in. I'm like, oh, that's also a head. And also like, you can't really see it because it's kind of cut off, but in that picture of the head, like there's like scribbles where the brain is, that I felt like also like, I don't know. It just, I loved everything that you chose for the assets, Alex. And I really, this was just like a fun cathartic exercise for me. And I'm really glad with the topic that I chose. So
yeah, I really like the back cover that you did. I think that with the face looking down at the names of the songs and the pattern in the background, I think that looks great.
Yeah, I think if I had done the that back cover first, I would probably actually make the front cover just a little bit more simplistic, like just because it's I don't know, it's like not as maybe crisp, but like there's maybe too much going on. Obviously that's what I was trying to convey, but like the back really does feel like a real album cover to me. And that's what I was also talking about, trying to make it cohesive, because I feel like, I don't know that necessarily that I nailed like cohesiveness with this design, but I was like, by the time I finished the back cover, I'm like, I'm done.
I appreciate the contrastingness, though. You got some nice wavy lines on this side, but then more harsh, angular ones in this other one. This one's a little bit more drawn out in a silhouette. This one's a little bit more realistic. The full face you can kind of see. And I see some Junji Ito inspired.
Yeah, totally, 100%.
Spiral State.
That's actually the Junji Ito is totally how I kind of came up with the name, like for sure. Like it's like for Spiral. Yeah, so like good catch there, Alex.
Of course.
And what actually got me on the Japanese thing in the first place was this symbol texture. But yeah, I don't think I really have anything else to say about it, but it was definitely a really fun project, and I had a blast. Like, I'm really enjoying these monthly challenges, giving us kind of an opportunity to express ourselves creatively. To be able to create something for yourself is like a different experience that like is just nice to get away from the day-to-day stuff that we normally do. So
Yeah, totally agree.
So yeah, awesome. Great job, everybody.
Yeah, and if my counting is correct, you're then going to be in charge of next month.
April Fools, maybe.
Oh, no.
But that'd be. I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. I don't know how you do it. Anyway, I'll think of something. I actually feel the pressure because I'm like, dang, it went by fast. Like, it's already my turn again to choose.
Right.
So, I have no idea what I'm gonna do.
Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing all of our outcomes. Saw us make some cool album art, and hopefully you guys will tune in for next month.
Awesome. All right. Bye. All right. Good job, guys. Awesome.